Its Principle, the new album from indie rocker Mondo Cozmo, is lush, energetic, and ambitious, and it rides the line nicely between Bruce Springsteen and Radiohead. Let's break it all down on this edition of Rock Album Review. Hey everybody, it's Nick here with you. Welcome back to the channel. Its Principle is the fourth studio album from LA's Mondo Cozmo, aka Josh Ostrander. It's the follow-up to 2022's This Is For The Barbarians. And Mondo Cozmo, aka Josh Ostrander, has been making waves in the LA music scene for quite a while now. He's played a lot of tours, opening up for various artists, and he's been making a lot of really famous fans as well, including producer Butch Vig and one of the big ones, Mr. Bruce Springsteen, anyone? And Bruce Springsteen is a good fan to have, because I think there's a lot of Springsteen influence on this album, Its Principle. This is my first time listening to Mondo Cozmo, listening to Josh Ostrander's music, and I found this record to be a really enjoyable listen. It's very ambitious, it's very anthemic, and really experimental at the same time. And this is an album that's very ambitious in its production and its songwriting. Like, there's classic songwriting happening here, some great hooks throughout the record, some great lyrics as well, but with production flourishes and arrangements that take it beyond the typical singer-songwriter stuff. In terms of tracks that really stood out to me, I thought Wild Horses was a really strong song. I know that's one of the singles from the record. It had a really propulsive beat at the beginning that really got my attention, and then had a really cool vocal from Josh Ostrander, had a nice attitude to it, and then a huge chorus on this one that was very much radio ready. You could hear it playing on a million radios around the world, and it's also very playlist worthy as well. I can see this one being a Spotify hit. And not to always compare it to other artists, but I heard a lot of different influences happening here. Obviously Bruce Springsteen, like I said, Bob Dylan in there as well. I thought there's some major Dylan influence, especially in Josh Ostrander's delivery on some of the songs. A little bit of a Queens of the Stone Age vibe happening in spots, because Queens of the Stone Age is known to have production that's a little bit left of center. It's not the typical thing that you would always expect, and that makes sense because I think they worked with one of Queens of the Stone Age producers on this record, so that explains that influence. There's also flourishes of bands like the Flaming Lips and LCD Sound System, some great indie rock bands in here, especially on tracks like Here I Am. And then you have songs like Angels, which sounds like the second coming of Bob Dylan if he had more modern, robust production. And it was maybe like the perfect mix of Bob Dylan and U2. It's got that Sunday Bloody Sunday drum beat in there, and I thought that was a really enjoyable song. I thought Angels was one of the best songs on the record. Sundown in the Age of Fear is an awesome title. It's also the best Radiohead song that they never wrote. I love the different piano flourishes happening on here. It also reminded me of another band that I love from the early 2000s. They're still together, but the early 2000s, Doves. I had a really trippy beat in there. I love the trippy vibes. The type of song that, you know what, you turn the lights on, you know, maybe you light a joint and then you float downstream, man. It had that very cool, very chill vibe to it that I really enjoyed. But even amongst all the different production and all the different sounds that are happening on this record, there really are some moments of beauty on here that got my attention. Leave a Light On is a beautiful song with some flourishes of Beach Boys kind of instrumentation happening on there. And then I thought that Killing Floor was really emotional too. I love the vocal from Josh Ostrander on this one. I loved his piano playing. And talk about solid vocals as well. Josh really bringing the soul on Killing Floor. Loved his vocal on this track, and some really nice vocals in general on this record. From what I understand, this is really sad. I think some of the album was written about and inspired by Josh's dog Cosmo, who was sick during the sessions for this album and eventually passed away. It's really sad to hear about that happening. I'm a dog owner, I'm a dog lover, and music really is the best medicine for that kind of grief. It's sad to think about, but it's really great that Josh Ostrander was really able to make this beautiful music to honor his late dog Cosmo. Overall, I found Its Principle, the new album from Mondo Cozmo, to be a really solid effort. It's a lush, ambitious, anthemic, experimental album with a lot of different things going on. It's a great headphone album, so if you have your headphones on and listen to this, there'll be lots of different things happening, a lot of ear candy to enjoy. And I think this is definitely a record that's worth listening to. I recommend it. I'm going to give Its Principle, the new album from Mondo Cozmo, a solid 4 out of 5. And Mondo Cozmo, Josh Ostrander, is going to be going on tour across the U.S. and Canada this fall. If you want to check out the tour dates and check out more about him, you can check it out at mondocozmo.com. All right, guys, that is my rock album review for the new album from Mondo Cozmo. Check it out. Let me know what you think of it in the comments below. If you like this review, if you like this channel, make sure to toss me a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate that. Make sure to smash the subscribe button so you don't miss out on future videos here on the channel. And make sure to follow me across platforms on social media at Nick Chino Music. And you can check out my band as well if you love music like Oasis, Foo Fighters, Weezer, that kind of thing. You can check us out at foolsunion.com. But I'll see you guys for another rock album review here on the channel. Until then, rock on, everybody.